as said Canada's Foreign Minister, Chrystia Freeland, saying NAFTA negotiations were at a very intense moment and that her country was looking for compromises that were win-win for all sides. Freeland met with U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer last night, and negotiations went well into the night. For the latest with NAFTA trade talks and the impact on farmers, let's bring in Casey Guernsey, a seventh-generation farmer. Also, Casey, you are a Missouri state legislator, a representative who's now a spokesman for Americans for Farmers and Families. Thanks for joining us. It's rare to have someone that can, that has, the bona fides to talk about farming, was also a legislator. So, what is your reaction to this? What we know so far about the Mexican side of things of NAFTA and what's going on with Canada? Positives for farmers?
Yeah, this is the timing couldn't be better. I mean, this is exactly what we need right now. We need some certainty. We need to be able to look toward the future with optimism, because the last few months especially has been a real roller coaster. Farmers have been dealing with low commodity prices, with this uncertainty, and on top of that, all the weather that we have to deal with, whether it's drought or really good weather. This timing couldn't be better, and we're hopeful that this will put Canada back in talks with our administration, because Canada and Mexico, for American producers on the farm and all of the jobs that are affiliated, are our top trading partners. And NAFTA has been such a win for our farms. So much so we sort of have taken it for granted, and now we've seen what it looks like with the potential of losing those trade agreements. So we're very happy to be seeing a lot of this news come out.
You're not soybeans, you're beef. You're a beef farmer, Casey? And Mexico is an important export market, your largest, right? So what could have gone wrong if this had gone the other way? What were you prepared for? What could have happened?
Yeah, so my family is in the beef business, and we sell beef both on the market, and then also my father raises bulls to sell to other farmers for their herds. And what happens whenever there's uncertainty and whenever we lose markets, we've seen our customers sell off their breeding stock, and actually my grandfather had to make a decision to sell a trailer load of his breeding stock. And those decisions affect a farmer's operation, not just for the short term, but also for years to come, because you have to either make up for that loss or you just have to sustain that loss. And when prices are so low, we can't. That's really scary, and that's whenever you see farmers get out of the business. And we know some of our customers who are our farmers who have gone out. Some of them probably won't get back in the business. So this is, when I say it's timely, I mean it is very timely that we're able to get that certainty back in the market, and we're hopeful that that the move forward will only build and allow this to sort of be the standard for negotiating trade deals with not just Canada, but other countries. Because
you have written in the past that you support President Trump, and I think you've cited polls that say most farmers do, which is, I don't know if everyone would immediately assume that, because we keep hearing that farmers are on the front lines for the trade wars and are affected most.
Well, other farmers we've spoken to say they support him,
right,
but they don't have a lot of patience, is the message we've also
That's probably the same. Is that what you're saying, Kate? And did it help that there's a relief package? Would you support him if he didn't propose a relief package, or do you're willing to take a little pain in the front end if you think that the goals are something that you'd like to see, and you're willing to forego immediate gains?
Sure. Farmers are the ultimate realists. I mean, we have to deal with reality on a daily basis, and we understand that we've been targeted unfairly by China, especially in these trade wars. And we also know that what works, and that is these trade deals. And that's why we've supported the president as long as we have, and when we did, because we needed someone who's going to fight for us and understands that the realities that we have to deal with on a daily basis.
Casey,
That being said, with the trade or with this aid package, you know, we want long-term solutions, and those aid packages only make farmers dependent more on the government, and we don't want that. We don't want to have to wait until the end of the month for a paycheck. We want this certainty and this movement, just like we're seeing with Mexico. So this is a breath of fresh air and something we need badly.
Casey, we know the deadline that our self-imposed deadline that the government set is for tomorrow to try and get NAFTA wrapped up. I just wonder what sort of deadlines you're dealing with as farmers, because I know these are things you need to start thinking about at some time in terms of planning for next year, spending for next year. What are the deadlines that farmers face on these issues?
Yeah, I mean, on a farming operation, you're making decisions on a daily basis for the next year. So, you know, you only have one crop that you can harvest every year. We only have so many cattle that we can sell every year. So you have to make the best decision every day for the next year. So our deadlines are daily, basically. And whenever you're dealing with regulation and these trade policies that come out of Washington and the weather and the markets, you have very little control over any element of your business. So, you know, whenever we see someone like President Trump get elected, who's given us great regulatory reform and we've seen great tax relief, it's exactly what we needed, because farmers are at a 16-year low for income, and we're projected, according to the USDA, to have another 8% loss this year. So, you know, you can only afford to lose money so long before you start seeing farmers get out of the business. And I was a kid in the 80s. I remember being raised on a dairy farm in the 80s, and they call it a farm crunch for a reason, because so many small to mid-sized farmers got out of the business. And then we fast forward to the 90s, and it was a huge difference, because 95% of the world's consumers live out of the United States. We know that if we have access to those markets, and if we can get our products to the people who want it, we don't need anything from the government. We can take care of ourselves and prosper, and there will be an 8th generation of my family in the business.
Well, I mean, the Guernsey cow was not named after you, Casey. I mean, right? I mean, it's an island, isn't it, in the channel? But that's pretty convenient for you, isn't it? Do you have any Guernsey?
Yeah, no.
Do you have any?
I wish we could. I wish we could claim that. But no, when we daried, we did milk Guernsey cattle, but we actually came from the same island.
Oh, you did? Okay, so that's good. So that's hence the name, anyway. Because I knew it sounded. I knew it sounded familiar. All right, well, we appreciate your time today, Casey, and good luck. I love farmers, obviously. They feed the world, so and it's I think we owe them. Anyway, thank you, and we appreciate it. Casey Guernsey.
My great-grandfather and my grandfather were both cattle farmers.
Cattle farmer?
Indiana, yeah. Indiana.
Indiana. I thought...
They had cattle farms. My great-grandfather was a cattle driver and drove them into Chicago. He's got a Supreme Court case that he took them to, sued the government for when they went after him for things.
I think we
Come by it honestly. Okay.